So we finally have reached opening day for the 2025 MLB season, and the Cleveland Guardians kicked off the season on the road against the Royals, a team that I would have to believe they will be competing with all season long for the AL Central crown. And what a way to start the season this was for Kyle Manzardo. All offseason, I talked about how he was going to be one of the X factors and key players to watch for, and even though it was just one game, it is safe to say that he definitely could be on his way to having a breakout season. And batting in the 5-hole, he's the guy that could make all the gears turn for the offense. Was this the perfect game for the Guardians? Obviously not. There was some mistakes, missed opportunities, and Clase did not get off to the start he wanted to, but nonetheless, the Guardians usually struggle on opening day, and today, they got the job done. And even though it is just game one, in these divisional matchups, every single game matters and is so critical. So I want to talk all about this game and what I saw in this video. But before I begin, I would like to give a shout out to Cleveland's cool clothing. With the Guardians starting out the new season and the Cavs almost into the playoffs, they have come out with some brand new releases, but my personal favorite design they have is the Cleveland C logo shirt with the Chief Wahoo feather. But there is a lot of dope stuff. I'm not just promoting them to promote them. The product is so quality, and I've been wearing their stuff a ton over the last few weeks. And if you go to the website and get something, which I will have linked down below both in the comments and the description, use promo code SPENCE when you check out and you will receive 15% off your order. It's a great deal. Go check it out. Again, shout out to Cleveland's cool clothing. Alright, so the Cleveland Guardians started out the season opener in Kansas City and they got a 7-4 win. They grinded out this game. I kind of thought they had it in the bag after the 6th inning because usually in the regular season, the bullpen just shuts it down, and that pretty much was the story. Gaddis got into some trouble, but he somehow pulled off a miracle thanks to some great pitches and then a base running blunder by the Royals. And then the first two batters that Clase faced absolutely shelled him. They hit the ball hard. I can't even get mad at Clase. It's not like he threw terrible pitches. They were both 100 miles per hour, but the Royals hit them and they got in that run to tie the game, but extra innings was all Cleveland. The Guards' start to this game in the first inning was actually so reminiscent of what they did all last year, as we like to call it, guard ball, the small ball. Steven Kwan started out the game with a single down the third baseline. The ball barely even touched his bat, but it is just what he does so well. He puts the ball in play, he makes things happen, he makes the defense have to make a play, but this one was just perfect placement. Great way to start off the inning, and then Jose smashed one, but it was right at Jonathan India. He didn't field it cleanly, so Steven Kwan was able to move to second, and then Lane Thomas flared one into the outfield, but it wasn't deep enough to score the run. Kwan had to stop at third, and then Carlos Santana popped out, was not able to score the run, and then Kyle Manzardo walked to load up the bases, and then Jhonkensy Noel struck out. But nonetheless, even though the Guards didn't score any runs in this inning, they definitely threatened, they applied pressure, they made Cole Reagans throw a lot of pitches, they let him know that it was going to be a rough day, and certainly it was. Ben Lively took them out of this game. It originally was of course supposed to be Tanner Bybee, but he was sick, so he was ruled out due to illness, and Ben Lively actually was like the perfect guy to roll out there in this type of environment because he doesn't get phased. I'm not saying he doesn't care. It's something that Rick Manning was talking about. He just never lets a big moment get to him, and even though he did allow a big home run, overall, I thought he pitched very well. He just made one mistake. In that first inning, he got Jonathan India to fly out, he got Bobby Witt to strike out, and then Vinny Pasquantino lined out, and that was that. And then at the top of the second, Bo Naylor started out the inning at the plate. He popped out, Gabriel Arias struck out, and then Brian Rocchio grounded out, and that was that. In the bottom of the second, Salvador Perez popped out. It's crazy that he's still in the league, but I still think he can be an effective player. I think he can bat 250. He can provide some power. And then Michael Massey singled to left center to give the Royals their first hit of the game. And then Hunter Renfroe flied out, and then MJ Melendez struck out swinging. And then that was that, on to the third. The quiet offense continued in the top of the third. Steven Kwan grounded out. Jose Ramirez flied out. Lane Thomas flied out. That was a quick inning. And then on to the bottom of the third. That is where the Royals finally did some damage. Kevin Biggio flied out, Kyle Isbell doubled to deep center, and then Jonathan India popped out. So originally it didn't look like the Royals were really going to do that much, but Bobby Witt singled to left center, and then he stole second, and all of a sudden the Royals were threatening, and then that was when Ben Lively made a bad pitch, and Vinny Pasquantino homered 407 feet to deep right center. It looked gone off the bat, it carried, and all of a sudden the Royals were up 3-0, and I thought that would pretty much wrap up the game because of how season openers usually go for the Guardians. Once they get down, they never come back, but that proved to be far from the case. In the top of the fourth, Carlos Santana started out the inning with a strikeout, but then Kyle Manzardo tripled to right field. He hit the right spot on the wall, and that ball just rolled forever, man. It allowed him to get around the bases into scoring position, and then Kenzie Noel hit the sacrifice fly. I didn't know if it was going to be deep enough, but it turns out that it was, and all of a sudden, the Guardians cut the lead to just 2. In the bottom of the fourth, Ben Lively rebounded. It's always important after your team scores a run to go out there and put up a 0, and that's exactly what he did. Michael Massey lined out, Hunter Renfroe grounded out, and then MJ Melendez also grounded out. Going into the top of the fifth, the Guardians definitely were looking to put up at least another run on the board, and Gabriel Arias started the inning off with a great at-bat where he just sat on a fastball and hit a double down the right field line, and then Rocchio walked, and all of a sudden the Guards had runners on first and second with no outs. And then Quan decided to bunt, he got it down, moved the runners to second and third, and I was surprised that the Royals actually let Jose Ramirez hit, but I guess it is early in the season, and he was able to bring in 1 run with a little lazy fly ball, but it was deep enough to become a sacrifice fly to give him his first RBI of the season, and then Lane Thomas grounded out in what could have been a hit, but the Royals shifted to the right spot. In the bottom of the fifth, Ben Lively put up another 0, Kevin Biggio flied out, Kyle Isbell popped out, and then Jonathan India flied out. So overall, I thought it was a good performance, like I said, from Ben Lively for it being his first outing of the year. I think if you can get 2 to 3 run performances out of him, that's exactly what you're asking for. And then to start out the top of the fifth, Carlos Santana shelled a ball to Bobby Witt. He wasn't able to handle it. It went down as a single on the scorebook, and then Kyle Manzardo boomed one to center field, 443 feet. The ball just carried. It kind of looked like a pop-up initially, but it just went, and all of a sudden, the Guardians had the lead, and Kyle Manzardo was on his way to hitting for the cycle. It was crazy. After just 3 at-bats, he already had a home run and a triple. And then after that, Big Christmas singled to shallow left, and then Bo Naylor singled to right center, and it was first and second with no outs. The Royals bullpen was already having a meltdown, but Arias came to the plate and grounded out into a double play, and then Rocchio also grounded out. So going into the bottom of the sixth, the Guards had a 1-run lead. And then pretty much after that, it was just a back and forth pitchers duel by the bullpen. Both teams were lights out until it was the bottom of the ninth when Emmanuel Clase took the mound. And like I said, he kind of got shelled, but he only gave up 1 run, so he gave the Guardians a chance in the 10th, and Steven Kwan did what Steven Kwan does, hitting a double in the gap. I was shocked that the Royals gave him a pitch to hit that he could pull, but they did. He took advantage. The Guards had a 1-run lead, and then with 2 outs, Kyle Manzardo sealed the deal. He roped one down the line, and all of a sudden, it was 7-4 Guards. And then we got to see newly acquired Paul Sewald pitch in the 10th, and he looked pretty good. So yeah, it was great to get this win. Great to start out the season 1-0. Obviously, it's one game. I'm not going to overreact, but I have really high expectations for this team. I don't know why over the offseason people were panicking that the Guards traded away Andres Jimenez and Josh Naylor. I think their production is easily replaceable, and we're already seeing it. That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know who you'd like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.